So I've had this reoccurring stoner thought in my head for a while now, despite having stopped smoking weed for about 2 years now. And it basically arose when I started realizing just how incredibly repetitive and monotonous, not just my daily life routine had started to become, but how even my own thought patterns had become as well. And then I began to notice it in other people, just going through their pretty much exact same variation of the exact same set of routines of their own, be it in conversations, or in habits, or in life decisions, or seemingly even in their own thought patterns as well. This even began to spill over not into just more basic, surface level thoughts, but even deeper ones as well. It seemed like people in the whole spectrum of all contemplative actions, be it on the totally shallow and pedantic side of the spectrum, or on the extreme other end, involving ultra deep existential and philosophical contemplation and whatnot. It didn't really matter. It just seemed like it was all kind of starting to become the same. Like, for instance, it didn't matter if someone was talking about something as generic as the weather, or contemplating something as profound as the inherent meaning of existence, if there is any. Regardless of what it was, it started to seem like it had all been said and done before, just in some kind of slightly different variation. This whole realization spiraled into me not only getting into a bit of a weird headspace, wherein I had to acknowledge just how presumably unoriginal of a person I almost certainly was and still am, even though I've been pretty often told by others that I'm quite a deep thinker, and in turn like to think of myself as a deep thinker. But yeah, in truth, maybe even though I technically am on some level, I sure as fuck ain't original. What I contemplate about on my channel and just in my life in general, hundreds if not thousands of other philosophers have all probably contemplated in pretty much nearly the exact same way before throughout history, and will continue to do so long after I die, assuming the human race keeps on going long after I die. There really just seems to only be a set amount of thoughts that can actually be thought. And therefore, all those thoughts have all been thought before, what with the billions upon billions of human brains that are busy thinking throughout human history, if that makes any sense. Like, there's basically only just so many thoughts under the sun, so we must have exhausted all those thoughts under the sun at some point. I'm assuming. I mean, just by a sheer numbers game. Anyways, where the shit starts to really get weird for me is when I began to wonder about how this all plays out in like a cosmological regard. Like, I specifically wonder not only if this isn't just the first iteration of this universe, but if perhaps this is actually all just one big repeat. Like, maybe the Big Bang has happened not only once before it's happened now, but has possibly happened an infinite number of times before and will continue to occur an infinite number of times after this particular iteration of this particular universe comes to an end. And if in turn all the aspects of this universe, including myself and all my seemingly unoriginal thoughts trying to masquerade themselves as original and deep contemplations, will in turn just keep on being repeated over and over and over and over again in these infinite universes to follow, potentially by an infinite variation of myself over and over and over and over again. That is to say, though, maybe it won't always be quite the same. Maybe with each iteration of this universe, there will always be something just a little bit different. And that includes with not just me, but with this very video itself. Maybe in some future universe version of me, I'll be doing this video with the exact same script, but instead I'll just be wearing a different article of clothing than I am now. Or perhaps this time around I actually did do this video with proper eye contact, except I didn't really, but I tried better this time. But maybe next time I'll position it even better so I really will have proper eye contact, but that remains to be seen. Or perhaps I'll just be wearing my fucking pants on my head in the video for some fucking reason. Or maybe I'll be speaking in a different language, like I'll be doing the video in Japanese or Spanish or hell, maybe even ancient Sumerian for all I know. Or maybe I'll do the exact same script in English, but just say the whole thing backwards. Or I'll do it in computer binary. Or I'll do it dressed up in drag and singing in a horrible falsetto voice. Or maybe I won't even be a 3D human anymore, but rather just some poorly animated and hand-drawn 2D version of myself. Whatever the variations might be, though, they'll all just be aesthetic and nothing more. The same existentially absurd message of everything will just fundamentally the same existentially absurd message of everything just fundamentally being one giant loop with barely any meaningful and true novelty or change will still remain the same. Anyways, though, that's all I really got to say on that. I'd say leave a comment on your thoughts on what I said, if it made any fucking sense. I'm not sure if it did. But honestly, what's the point? Since it's probably a comment some version of you has already left on some infinite variation of this video an infinite number of times before. And I guess we'll possibly do an infinite number of times in further iterations of the universe. So I guess go ahead and do it anyways. Or don't. I don't know. Whatever. Do what you want. Regardless, whether you leave a comment or not, thank all y'all for watching and have yourself a nice rest of your day. And in turn, eternity within the confines of this hypothetical absurdity of infinitely looping existential bullshit.